Here, I'll mute. There we go. Okay. So I was looking at my quotations and I really like this one, but I want to explain something first. When in spiritual texts, they mention the Lord. And when my guides were here channeling through, they told me that the Lord is your higher self. It's your connection to the source. So I thought that was interesting because this starts out with Lord. Lord, who art always the same, give that I know myself, give that I know thee. I just thought it was sweet. And my guides also told me when they were channeling through that all music that is like love music, romance, people think it's for like a mate or a lover, but all of that really is representing our love for our higher self. We fall in love with our higher self eventually. So, and then, you know, the all that is the unknowable. But if we can get to know ourselves at the deepest level, at the spiritual level, then we're just that much closer to the all that is, the divine. So that's what a lot of our classes are about anyways, is loving God. You know, it's just, I think that's what yoga is about. So I hope nobody objects to that, but if you do, oops, the cat's out of the bag. So the quotation was written by Saint Augustine. So saint kind of tells you something right there. So you can see all right then, right? Because that bulb burned out and I can't get it to screw into the socket because it's an old lamp. I had that lamp when I had my center in Middleburg. Which was 2010 when we opened. So if you want to bring your hands into Bhu Mudra, oh, I need to move that chair out of the way. I'm sorry. I put it there because I was sitting on my knees or kneeling a lot. And after like a year of that, my knees started to comment like, enough of that for a while. So I started moving my chair over and I forgot to move it out. So if you want to bring your hands into Bhu Mudra for grounding and releasing just anything that you want to release. Ground into the earth through your sitting bones. Become aware of Earth Mother. Take note periodically if you feel a difference when using these mudras. I have found them to be effective, and I'm just wondering how it is for you at some point. And then if you wish to leave your hands in Bu Mudra, you're welcome to, or if you want to bring your hands onto your knees and either change the mudra or allow your hands to relax. Whatever's best for you while we finish centering. Notice your breath and the way it's flowing, your rhythm. Check in with your muscles and joints. Notice sensation around your body. And what it might be telling you. And we'll just bring palms into Anjali Mudra for a moment and create your sacred space around you if you haven't already, a bubble or a pyramid. Fill it with beautiful liquid light color of your choice, or however you feel guided. Notice your shoulders if they're drooping with the weight of responsibility, or if they're in cringe mode, is what I call it, when sometimes under stress we'll bring our shoulders up towards our ears. And then we'll start with a deep breath and release our hands out to the side and breathe our palms up overhead. Reaching our higher selves generally are thought to be just beyond our fingertips when we lift our arms overhead. So just bring that higher self down into your body, because that's what we're learning, is to embody that. Breathe and lift. Invite your higher self, or if you like to call it the Lord, whatever's right for you. Just imagine inviting that part of you and bringing it into the physical more and more and more. And one more round of breath. Bringing palms in. And then we'll slide our hands forward and stretch down over our feet and legs. Just feel the lengthening in your spine, your shoulders and arms. Hip joints. And walk your hands back in. We'll go to the back to loosen up in the spinal column. Just bring your hands around behind you, fingertips or palms. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Bring shoulder blades closer together and arch as you elongate the spine. And then release. And we'll come up onto the balls of our feet and loosen up in ankles and toes. Rocking forward and back. Now separate your feet a few inches and stretch your heels towards the floor and walk your fingers forward. And just lift your arms and see if you can get your feet to come down onto the floor. If you need to use your hands to catch yourself, if you start to lean back too far at any moment, just go ahead and catch yourself, but keep reaching forward, stretching in your ankles as you bring your heels closer to the floor. If they don't come all the way down, that's okay, but just give them a really phenomenal stretch. Keep reaching forward so your center of gravity is balanced. For some people, this is really natural, and others, no, not so much. So I can get my heels down, but I would have to lift my hips to come up out of this. So I'm just going to use my hands and come back up onto the balls of my feet. All right. So see if you can balance on both feet and isometrically squeeze the balls of your feet together and just bring your palms up in Anjali Mudra. Taking a breath. Reach out. Now start to lift up. Press your heels down. Lift up. And release your arms. Separate your feet for a standing twist. Loosen up in the spine a little more. And come back to center. And let's just bring both arms up overhead. Breathe a deep breath and reach. Reach a little more. Reach more. As though you're going to touch the ceiling. Well, I could, but you probably can't. And then activate your legs, your hips, and your abdomen and reach up and breathe. And we're just going to go side to side with both arms. So it's going to be like a willow tree, loosening up around the waist. and spine, our shoulders, strengthening our abdominal muscles. Just graceful like a beautiful willow tree. Now, next time you come over to your left, we're just going to come down and circle around and reach up and around. And one more time in this direction, then we'll switch. Just getting our joints lubricated. So we'll reverse here, coming up and around. Last time. And we'll come up, bring your feet hip width apart. Bring your left knee up and pull it in for a moment, and then switch, stretching low back. And then open it out to the side for hips. All right, so now walk back to the back edge of your mat and just bring hands onto your hips. It's a little, okay. So from here, we're just gonna step out with each leg, but not too far because we're gonna press back. So just taking in a breath, step out with your left leg, bend your knee and push off and come back and switch legs. Push off and come back. Breathe, step out, come back, push off and push back. And speed it up a little bit. Now, the next time you come with your, it'll be your left leg, no, your right leg, come forward into warrior one, legs. The back heel is lifted and just loosen up in your psoas muscles, your hip flexors. Reach up through the crown, lift your chest. You can press on your low back if you want and lean back into an opening of the front of your body. But remember to elongate the spine, pull your shoulder blades down. Come back to center. Just a little bend forward and push off. Step it back. And breathe. And your left leg out into warrior one. And extend up through the crown, up through your chest, shoulder blades together, stretching the hip flexors and arching in your back. And then come back to center, a little forward lean, breathe, push off and come back. Okay, now so just turn sideways on your mat, bring palms together in Tadasana or Samasthiti. Breathe. Soften your knees and just hop out into 5-pointed star. Separate your feet nice and wide, shoulders open. Shining your light. Just imagine all your chakras, the rainbow colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, lighting up as the earth sends her energy up into our bodies and shoot it out the top of your head. Bring it back in the top of your head and shoot it down into the earth. Once more, bring it up your spine, up your body, out the top of your head, joining with heavenly forces, and bring it back down into the earth. And then bring hands onto your hips, and whatever leg you have to the front, just turn the toes forward for warrior 2. Bend your knee out and bring it in. Breathe. Breathe out. Loosening up even more in the hip joints. Once more. Breathe, come out and hold your warrior 2 legs. Release your arms and scoop your arms up overhead. Bring palms in and just take your arms out into warrior 2. And see if your hips are comfortable at this width, or if you want more width or less. We'll come in for the bind, which is to lean forward, bring that front arm under the leg, bend that elbow, bring your other arm around behind and hook your fingers, and then align your torso in line with your thigh. Look up. And release. Press back up into warrior 2. Step both feet in. Turn. Soften your knees and hop out into 5-pointed star. Once again, lighting up all your chakras. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, spinning and pulsing, powerful vortexes. And then turn out the front leg. Some vinyasas to loosen up a little more. Breathe. Breathe out as you bend your knee. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come into your warrior 2 and hold. Deepen your pose if you're able. And then the bind, taking the front arm under the front leg, bend the elbow, reach it up, and the free hand, bring it around, interlace, or not interlace, but hook your fingers, and then align your torso in line with your thigh. Open the shoulders and the hips, look up. And release your hands. Press back up into Warrior Two. Use the strength of your legs and your abs. And then we'll straighten that front leg and we'll work towards our triangle pose, Trikonasana. Turn the back heel out, toes in. And hinge down in the front hip, reach out over your leg. Knee is straight, shoulders forward, hips forward. Reach with a straight spine in line with your front leg. And when your body has gone as far as it can, just switch your arms and look up into your palm. Now bring your upper arm down, face the front leg, let the back heel out. You can step the back foot in a little bit if you need to be comfortable. And we'll come down over the front leg. Hands can be fingertips on the floor, palms on the floor, hands on the ankle or the shin for stability, but bring the hips around so both are pointing forward. Breathe and breathe out. Stretch down over that leg. All right. Now, with both hands on the floor right now, we're going to bend the front knee and step in the back leg. We'll take the other leg back. We're going to press up and just turn into Warrior Two. Just breathe, knee into Warrior Two pose. Feel the hip flexors in the back hip. How does it feel after your first triangle? And then breathe your front knee in. Legs are engaged. Breathe and hinge out over the front leg. Keep the spine straight. So you're pressing down in the hinge of the hip, not rounding your spine to the side to keep you safe. And then switch your arms and look up, aligning shoulders, hips. Holding the pose and breathing into it, relaxing. Just what does it feel like inside your body right now? And lower the upper arm, face the front leg. Allow the back heel to slide out. And you can step the back foot in a little bit so that you have easier access to the stretch. Pointing hips forward, shoulders forward, breathe. And breathe out as you lower down over the inside of the front leg. Okay, from here, just walk your hands forward
Come on to the ball of the back foot, bend the front knee, and just take that foot back for downward facing dog. Hip side to side. Now this is an optional stretch, but press down in your right hand. Take your left hand and reach for your right foot or ankle and look up under that right arm. Press your heels down. And we'll switch sides. Left hand comes out. Right hand goes into the stretch. Look up under your arm. Press both heels into the floor. All right, so now bring your hand out. Just inch your feet back a little further and come into plank pose. Press both feet firmly into the mat. Stretch through your heels. And breathe. And bring your right leg in towards your nose. Hold for 2 breaths. And release it. Bring the other leg in on the exhale. Bring it in, knee to nose, and take it back. Come forward into up dog. You can either stay on the balls of your feet or you can come onto the tops of your feet, but the legs do not touch the ground. Lengthen and allow your back to stretch. Now let your knees down. Bring your hips back. Bring your right leg forward and towards center, like you want it to cross the front leg, but you're just going to come down onto that right hip and bring the left leg around for your twist. Both sitting bones grounded into the earth. Shoulder blades down. Drawing the knee in towards the diagonal shoulder. And now holding on with your right hand, scoop the left arm out and up. And pull around into your twist, using that front leg for leverage, and bring the back arm down close to your hip so you can use that arm for a backrest. Look over the shoulder. Breathe. Keeping ourselves young and powerful as we loosen the spine and strengthen our muscles.
Now for a moment, press your sitting bones down and take that back arm and just wrap it around the back of your waist. The palm is open. And then release the arm and breathe as you lift it back up overhead and lower down. Okay. So just switch your legs around. Left leg is underneath now. Right leg over top. Draw the knee towards the opposite shoulder. Ground it in the earth to stabilize ourselves and receive nurturance from Earth Mother. Hold on to your leg. And scoop your right arm out. Breathe it up overhead. And bring your arm around behind you. Reach up through your crown. Ground your sitting bones into the earth. And breathe your right arm up next to your ear. And unwind. Coming back to center. Oh, I didn't do that thing with the hand. Let's go back in for a minute. Just for a minute. So breathe it up and over and just bring it around behind your waist. Just hook around. Maybe you can reach your hip bone. Maybe not, doesn't matter. Just reach. Feel the opening in your shoulders here. And now release and bring it back up and over and down. Beautiful. All right, so a couple of spinal rocks. Just hands underneath your knees. Roll on your spine. Okay, I'm going to turn sideways and let's press up into, this will be our last one. Press up into our candle, half shoulder stand. And then just shake your legs. Shake all your organs down. See them coming down into their natural places. All right, bend your knees towards your forehead. Feel the rounding in your spine. Bring your hands down onto the mat, palms down. Lift your chin and roll one vertebra at a time down onto the mat. If you need your socks or your blanket, whatever you need to be as comfortable as possible, take your time and come down for Shavasana. Thinking of love for your higher self
for the divine, however that quotation, Lord, who art always the same, give that I know myself, give that I know thee, Saint Augustine. So when we make that kind of prayer, when we say, give that I know thee, that's a request. Our part in it is to get out of the way so that we can experience that relationship. So right now, allow your mind to relax and empty out. We pulled our higher selves down into our bodies earlier. Just kind of wiggle around on the mat and see how that feels. And go deeper, generating the feeling of love.
And we'll start to come back now. Allowing that feeling of love to wash all through our body, all of our cells, bathing them in love and light and connection to the Lord or the higher self, the divine part of us. Start to bring some little moves in to fingers, toes, your head if you want to roll side to side. Slide your feet together and lift your knees up for a stretch into your chest. Come to one side and press up into sitting. And I'm going to suggest Shunya Mudra. So you just take both hands, bring in the long finger, the middle finger, and then place your thumb over to secure it. And all the other fingers are stretched out. And just the back of your hand rests on your knee. This is for the throat chakra. To balance it so that we can speak our truth courageously. And to speak with integrity. Then just release your hands and bring them into Anjali Mudra. A little nod of your head to your higher self, the Lord. And may all that love continue to flow in, through, and all around you. Namaste.